Hello there, this is Heirs to the Kingdom channel, and today's lesson we're doing Jeremiah chapter 46 and 47. This will be the last two chapters for a little bit, because the next ones are like 47 verses, 30-something verses, 60-something verses per chapter, so yeah, the next ones are going to be quite a bit of more reading. But today, I think 46 has got like 28 verses, and 47 is like 7 verses. So, it's actually just a couple of less than yesterday. But it is quite a bit to read, and I was over the 30-minute mark yesterday. And this is pretty much the same. It's pretty straightforward reading. And so there's always stuff to learn in all the chapters of the Bible. And of course, the same thing is what we've been learning from Jeremiah, because this has been the primary lesson from God to the Israelites at this time: don't disobey me. And the title of this one is Concerning the Foreign Nations. As you can see from here, even in verse 1, you start reading, you see the word Gentiles, against the Gentiles. Now, in today, we are the Gentiles, and we are all now have the ability to come to the Lord. Before, in Old Testament times, you had to be an Israelite or convert to Judaism. You had to join the Israelites. And that's the only way. I ain't going to say it's the only way to be saved, but it was the primary way to be known as being part of God's people. There was prophets all throughout the world. Godly people all throughout the world. God spoke to them individually. But having access to the scriptures, that was Israel, Israelites, being Jew. But between Old Testament and New Testament, the main lesson is never changed. We are to be obedient servants. It's just now under New Testament, we're no longer to call ourselves servants, but heirs. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this lesson and get the reading started. Like I said, I don't want to be over the 30-minute mark. So let's go ahead and, go ahead and mention it. If you are new to this and just by chance clicked on this for the first time, this is a Bible study channel. I do recommend starting off at Genesis chapter 1 of my channel and getting caught up so you don't get kind of lost in the middle. Because reading the Bible is like reading a very long story. This is the 24th book, and we're almost finished with it. And so some books are short, some books are longer. But you have from the lessons given from Genesis chapter 1 all the way up till now. They've primarily always went to the same direction, being obedient to God. And God wants you to want to obey. The world makes that very complicated sometimes, because, we're not going to sugarcoat anything or lie about it. Living in today's world, especially trying to be a Christian, sucks. It's very complicated. There's a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of stress. And you try to always do the right thing, and the wrong thing comes out your mouth. I'm guilty of this myself. Even today, I've had a bad day. It's like, I've had a lot to do the last couple of days. It's like yesterday, I had to do servicing the mower for the beginning of the year, and I had to fix wheels on my cart. The cart issue is kind of weird. I bought new wheels with bearings and stuff from Harbor Freight that would fit my Gorilla cart. Now, my gorilla cart can attach to my mower, so when I pull it around or do things, tasks where I carry tools or dirt or this, that, and the other, I like using that cart for that. I can move it by hand or hook it to my mower. Either or. But those wheels from Harbor Freight have the cheapest design hubs ever. And on one wheel, the rim where it welded to the hub broke, and the wheel just fell off while I was moving a tree. It wasn't a big tree. It's literally about 3-4 foot tall. Moving a cedar from one person's yard to another, helping a neighbor out. They had a cedar growing up next to their house, and another person wanted it. Actually, I wanted it. It's in my yard. There's other ones out there. I gotta get back over there and help out with that. But anyways. Yeah, a neighbor of mine, he's in his 80s, and so I just helped him fix his fence too. Nevertheless, I had to put the tires and tubes from the new wheels onto the old rims and then put all those back onto my gorilla cart. So that was a little testing yesterday. Today, I'm sorry, no, that was the day before yesterday. Yesterday was a storm, tornado warnings, this, that, and the other stuff. Today, anyways, I had been trying to service my personal vehicle, change the oil, rotate tires, and check the balance and everything else. I hate working on new cars. I love working on older cars, but I hate new cars because you always got to. This is a Jeep, and I still got to jack it up in the air just so I can get underneath it to get to the drain plug. I hate designing new things because they're not designed for the customer in mind at all. Everything's designed to be on the lift or something of that nature. Yeah, and it's like the oil filter's in the front of the engine and the drain plug's in the back. And it's really stupid. Very poor design. Growing up, our drain plugs and oil filters were side by side. You had one drain pan catching both. You didn't have skid plates. You didn't have this in the way. You didn't have framing pieces in the way. You didn't have to reach around. It's like mine, the oil filter, you got to reach around AC lines plus the serpentine belt. And you can't even see where you're putting the filter back on at. You just got to reach for it and feel it. You can see it from the top, but you can't see it from below. But you can't reach it from the top. You can only reach it from below. Horrible design. I really hate it. So I will have to say, though, I got a 2010 Jeep Cherokee I bought used, and it seemed to be built fairly decent, but its design is not. It's not designed to be an off-road vehicle, because an off-road vehicle would also need to have a jack or anything else to be used in the dirt. This is not something to be used in the dirt. This is definitely clearly asphalt, concrete, or lift. Jacks, jack stands, this, that, and the other. You get the idea. Hopefully you do anyways. But, yeah, so it put me in a bad mood. But, sorry if you heard my cat meowing. He's wanting attention. But, so, everyone's got their excuses on why they have bad days and bad words come out their mouths. And so, it just happens. The world really tries the mess out of us. It really does. And if you're kind of forced to live alone in it, that makes it even harder. So, I always remember, though, you don't become unequally yoked just to have a family, because a lot of times you'll end up losing that family because of the person you chose to bring into your life. They will try to destroy you. Not always, but most of the time today. I speak from experience on that one too. And there's a lot of other men out there, same way, same boat. So I feel for you. I know what you're going through. There's a lot of women that also waited really late in life to try to do something, and now they're not desirable because they can't provide children or this, that, and the other. because they followed feminism, and then by the time they realized it was a lie, it's too late. Can't go back and redo things. So you still find someone out there, but you have to be a good person, and you cannot follow feminism, because good men can't stand feminism. Feminism is very destructive. It has no purpose in any society. Nevertheless, with that, let's go ahead and get started here. It's a pretty straightforward reading. Don't really have to stop for much of anything. We do remember Jeremiah went with the other people. He pretty much was taken into the land of Egypt with Johanan and stuff. So, as I said, I don't know where this falls into the spectrum at, if it's in chronological order right now. But it sounds like it. This one sounds like it is, because it would be Jeremiah saying it to the Egyptians in the area. Let's go ahead and get started here. Chapter 46, verse 1. The word of the Lord which came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Gentiles, against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh, Necho, king of Egypt, which was by the river Euphrates in Carchemish, sounds good enough, which Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, smote in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. Order ye the buckler and shield, and draw near to battle. Harness the horses, and get up, ye horsemen, and stand forth with your helmets. Furbish the spears, and put on the brigandines. Yeah, go brigandines. Yeah, that's actually the brigandine. It's a type of body armor. So, anyway, let's continue on. Verse 5. Wherefore have I seen them dismayed and turned away back? And their mighty ones are beaten down and are fled apace, and look not back, for fear was round about, saith the Lord. Let not the swift flee away, nor the mighty man escape. They shall stumble and fall toward the north by the river Euphrates. Who is this that cometh up as a flood, whose waters are moved as the rivers? Egypt riseth up like a flood, and his waters are moved like the rivers. And he saith, I will go up, and I will cover the earth. I will destroy the city and the inhabitants thereof. Come up, ye horses, and rage, ye chariots, and let the mighty men come forth, the Ethiopians and the Libyans that handle the shield, and the Lydians that handle and bend the bow. For this is the day of the Lord God of hosts, a day of vengeance, that he may avenge him of his adversaries, and the sword shall devour, and it shall be satiate and made drunk with their blood. For the Lord God of hosts hath a sacrifice in the north country by the river Euphrates. Go up into Gilead, and take balm, O virgin, the daughter of Egypt. In vain shalt thou use many medicines, for thou shalt not be cured. The nations have heard of thy shame, and thy cry hath filled the land. For the mighty man hath stumbled against the mighty, and they are fallen both together. The word that the Lord spake to Jeremiah the prophet, how Nebuchadrezzar king of Babylon should come and smite the land of Egypt. Declare ye in Egypt, and publish in Migdol, and publish in Noph, and in Taphanes. Say ye, stand fast, and prepare thee, for the sword shall devour round about thee. Why are thy valiant men swept away? They stood not, because the Lord did drive them. He made many to fall, yea, one fell upon another. And they said, Arise, and let us go again to our own people, and to the land of our nativity from the oppressing sword. Now, this shows something that people need to understand this lesson. That just because, like right now in America, we've been dealing with a tyrannical government system. We're trying to, with peacefulness, remove before it turns the other way, which is non-peaceful. But for all those who wear a badge or wear a uniform, just because someone tells you to do something, they only have power if you obey them. This goes for everyone else. If your government is oppressing you, the people normally outnumber the government and everybody a part of the government easily thousands to one. They only have power if the foot soldiers follow and obey the oppression, from those leaders. That's kind of what it's saying here too. You had these people that came in to fight with the Egyptians and stuff, and saying, forget about this. I don't want to die for these people. And so they're going back to their own land. And, because it's like, what are they going to do? Come after us? They're in war. They're in battle. They ain't got time to be worrying about us. We can sit here and just go ahead and go home and not even worry about this stuff. So whenever the oppressive people start losing their armies, it's like, they may still have words, but they have no power. So this is the lesson God gives to everybody with this type of stuff here, that don't forget how powerful the citizens are versus an oppressive government or an oppressive leader. Because just because somebody commands you to do something, if they don't really have power over you, they can't really enforce it unless people follow. But let's continue on here, verse 17. They did cry there, Pharaoh king of Egypt is but a noise. He hath passed the time appointed. As I live, saith the king, whose name is the Lord of hosts, surely as Tabor is among the mountains, and as Carmel by the sea, so shall he come. O thou daughter dwelling in Egypt, furnish thyself to go into captivity, for Noph shall be waste, and desolate without an inhabitant. Egypt is like a very fair heifer, but destruction cometh. It cometh out of the north. Also her hired men are in the midst of her like fatted bullocks. For they also are turned back and are fled away together. They did not stand, because the day of their calamity was come upon them, and the time of their visitation. The voice thereof shall go like a serpent, for they shall march with an army, and come against her with axes, as hewers of wood. They shall cut down her forests, saith the Lord, though it cannot be searched, because they are more than the grasshoppers, and are innumerable. The daughter of Egypt shall be confounded. She shall be delivered into the hand of the people of the north. The Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saith, Behold, I will punish the multitude of No, and Pharaoh and Egypt, with their gods and their kings, even Pharaoh and all them that trust in him. Kind of weird to have a town or an area called No. Let's go somewhere. No. Oh, so many jokes can come out of the name of that place by itself. Continue on, verse 26. And I will deliver them into the hand of those that seek their lives, and into the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of his servants. And afterward it shall be inhabited, as in the days of old, saith the Lord. But fear not thou, O my servant Jacob, and be not dismayed, O Israel, for behold, I will save thee from afar off, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and be in rest and at ease, and none shall make him afraid. Fear not thou, O Jacob, my servant, saith the Lord, for I am with thee. For I will make a full end of all the nations whither I have driven them. But I will not make a full end of thee, but correct thee in measure. Yet will I not leave thee wholly unpunished. So it's the promise to the Israelites that, you will come back into your land, like he has been promising. You will live in your land again, and it will flourish again. But you got 70 years of punishment to deal with. And some people are going to be dealing with this punishment that weren't even alive, to sin against God. Like I always say, God, you will not answer for the sins of someone else, like your father or your mother or something like that, but their sins can affect you, and your walk in life, which can make your life harder or easier. Like so, your sins can affect others around you, even though they don't have to answer for them. We all been going through that numerous times. That's why I always tell people to be wary of what you do, especially if you got children and a spouse and families and this, that, and the other stuff, because you can bring calamity upon your children even after you're gone. Their lives can be affected by decisions that you made. So, especially if you led them the wrong direction. But let's go ahead and do chapter 47 here. There's only 7 verses. Short reading. This one is just titled Philistia. In this one of my other study Bibles anyways. But let's go ahead and read this. This is another prophecy against the Philistines. So, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Philistines before that Pharaoh smote Gaza. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, waters rise up out of the north, and shall be an overflowing flood, and shall overflow the land, and all that is therein, the city, and them that dwell therein. Then the men shall cry, and all the inhabitants of the land shall howl. At the noise of the stamping of the hoofs of his strong horses, at the rushing of his chariots, and at the rumbling of his wheels, the fathers shall not look back to their children for feebleness of hands. Because of the day that cometh to spoil all the Philistines, and to cut off from Tyrus and Zidon every helper that remaineth, for the Lord will spoil the Philistines, the remnant of the country of Kaphtor. Going back to verse 3 here. Can you imagine that you are such in fear and everything else? And these weren't weak people. These were hard times that people had to live through, so it ain't like they haven't dealt with a lot of stuff. But you're in such fear that you're running away and you don't even look back to see if your children are with you. I mean, well, we got some pretty, I've seen some videos of some weak people today, especially these haunted houses and stuff where it's just a joke, but the guy run off and leave his girl and stuff like that, and she's just crouched down in fear and stuff like that, and the guy scaring them with the pig mask thing on stuff, gives her the weapon and says, let's go get him. I think that's hilarious, but it's like, yeah, there's men out there like that, but it's like, I could not imagine being that afraid that I would just be running and not even look back for my children. But anyways, let's continue on here. Verse 5. Baldness has come upon Gaza. Ashkelon is cut off with the remnant of their valley. How long wilt thou cut thyself? Now, if you don't really understand the part about baldness has come upon Gaza, God's always talked about the cities and stuff like that. They're like women, something the men are to care for and provide for and everything else like that. And for a woman to be bald, it's shameful. If a woman's head has been shaved, or she shaves herself, shaves her hair off, or doesn't cover herself, having baldness, it's very shameful. And so that's why that is meaning from there. Let's continue on verse 6. O thou sword of the Lord, how long will it be ere thou be quiet? Put up thyself into thy scabbard, rest and be still. Now, if you don't know what a scabbard is, that's what the sword would go into. It's like having a scabbard for your knife or sword. Just in case, I don't know. I know some people we know what a scabbard is, but there might be someone out there listening. It's like, what is that? But yeah, that's what you normally kept your bladed weapon in. Verse 7. How can it be quiet, seeing the Lord hath given it a charge against Askelon and against the seashore? There hath he appointed it. And that's the end. I'm sorry. I will say, it's very weird. Normally you have the longer chapter than the shorter one. But 48 is still attached to this one. And I was going to go ahead, but there's 47 verses in chapter 48. But that's kind of funny. Chapter 48 with 47 verses. But, so, it is attached. And I kind of should have saved it and read it with that, but as I said, it's already 47 verses. So we'll just, get talking about this more. I don't know why in my head I was thinking 8 verses. Like I still had one more. Like, nope, that was it. So I ended it like I was just going to go to the next page. But, yeah. As I said, like, there's only 7 verses. But it's like, as I said, 48's attached to it. So I'll be talking about 47 again tomorrow as we start against 48, just doing the highlights of it. But, as God now bringing, pretty much talking about Babylon's going to be coming against, the Philistines. Because now God's already going to be bringing Babylon against Egypt, against the whole area. If you don't know what it is to have a place that becomes a world power, it means that they pretty much take over all the lands around as far as they can reach. And it's quite complicated to do, but for some odd reason, some people just desire to do this very thing. But yeah, anyways, that is the end of this reading. And I'm right here at the 30-minute mark, so I'm just right under it. I've already talked a lot about some other stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and end this lesson here. And so, remember to pray. Pray for me. I need it, especially on my bad days. I'm going to be praying for you all, too, because I know you have bad days just as much as I do. We got to pray for the lost and pray for the found, and pray for each other and pray for ourselves. Prayer is a necessity, just as much as food, air, water, clothing, shelter. For a Christian, prayer is a necessity. We need it all day long, every day. This is what's difference between Christianity and anything else out there, because we're to talk to God all day long, just like we're talking to a pet or to a family member, to a friend, like someone's there. That's how we're to talk. That is prayer. That's all you got to do. Just talk to God. He loves it. He loves to hear from you. So, until next time, God bless, good night, and goodbye.